What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Motivated Motorsports. Today's video, we're going to be reinstalling my Innovative Motorsports wideband gauge, getting this thing back ready to do some testing and tuning for it, get it ready to make some test fits. Alright, so this is my Innovative Motorsports MTX-L wideband gauge. So this is the gauge and the control module all wrapped up into one. I've used previous Innovative Motorsports products before that had the, it was like a black control module type box that then you would plug the sensor into, and then you would have to feed that signal off of that onto something else to actually read it onto, like a data logger or a PCM or something like that, in order to be able to read to it. This is a one gauge, all one-stop shop, all inside this little guy right here. So there's 4 wires to hook it up. Red is power, as typically is. Black is going to be your ground. So they say you want to have these as good as possible. So run the power or run the ground back to a very good known ground. Run the power to an independent power. So don't run this off of some other accessories that you have running. Run it off its own individual power and ground. The reason they say do this is so that way you get the best possible power and ground circuit that you can have. These are very susceptible to having ground issues or power issues and giving you false readings. So it's always best to give these to their own individual powers and ground. Next is going to be the white wire. The white wire, they say, hook into your lights. This isn't a dimmer switch type signal. This would be into your actual lights, headlight circuit. This is going to give it power and tell this, I believe, when to dim is I think how that works. The yellow is your analog output. This is going to go directly to like a data logger, or for me, I have it directed into my HP Tuners software on here. So that way I can data log it and I can read it off of my ECU. So that way I can tune better with this situation, and I can kind of show you guys how that works once we get it in there. Like I said, these are very susceptible to noise. So typically this is something that I would typically put a connector on this side, put a connector on all the wires coming from, the engine bay and from my PCM. This situation, I'm just going to wire it directly in, just with butt connectors, heat shrink butt connectors, make sure there's a really good connection and solid connection in there, so that way I don't have any noise from any kind of pins moving around inside of any connectors. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll let you guys watch while I do that. Alright, so inside the cab here, as you can see, this is my instrument cluster, my handmade instrument cluster. So I already have my ground and my white wire that comes from the power feed for my lights. They're already in here, and I also have my power wire going back to my fuse block, and also my yellow wire, which will feed into my HP tuners. They're already set up in here. Like I said, I already had this wideband in here. For some reason, it decided to start faulting out. The gauge itself, the display itself started faulting out. So I took it out, sent it to them. They were super cool about it. They sent me a new one back. So I just now need to rewire it back into the existing harness that I have in here. So I'll do that right now. Alright, so now that we have it wired back in, I've power back applied to it. Now I'm ready to calibrate the O2 sensor. So with these, you have to calibrate the O2 sensor anytime you replace the sensor or after every so many runs. So the process for doing that is you turn power on to it, you wait about 30 seconds, which I've just about done, you shut the power off, you plug in the sensor, and then you turn the power back on, which I will do right about now. All right, so power is shut off. I'll go ahead and connect the two of them. Boom, just like that. We'll run back here again, turn the power back on, and it is doing what it's supposed to do. So it'll come up with a heater. That means the heater is on currently. It's heating up the sensor, and then after this it should switch to a calibration phase, and I'll wait for that to come on. It takes about 30 seconds for that to happen. I'll show you when it happens. Alright, so calibration came on. It actually didn't take that long to calibrate. It took only a couple of seconds. And now it is reading 22.4, which is the max because it's in open air. Now, that is one thing to mention. Whenever you're calibrating wideband O2 sensors, you always want to calibrate them with them out of the exhaust in free open air, so that way it's calibrating at the right oxygen level. So now that it's ready to go, I'll throw the oxygen sensor back in the exhaust tube, fire it up, and hopefully we'll have good readings. Boom, and just like that, it is running again, getting a good steady O2 reading. We'll go ahead and drive it a little bit, make sure it's reading all the way through the bands, and then yeah, we're ready to go. Alright guys, now that we have the wideband working again, it appears to be reading good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fire the truck up, drive it around the block a little bit just to make sure that what I'm getting off of the wideband gauge, what I'm seeing off the wideband gauge, I'm also getting off of HP tuners. So I'll have the data logger up, I'll be reading it and watching the O2 sensor kind of both, just to make sure that they're both the same. So why not come along, right? Alright guys, what's going on? Next day, S-10 seems to be running good. All the driving, everything looked good. Went through all the data that I got off of driving it last night. Everything appears to be going good. So that's pretty awesome. Today, got seatbelts in because evidently you're supposed to have these or something for safety or some stuff. So like I said, I'm gonna try to get this thing out this weekend, try to drive it, get a little road tuning in, maybe make a couple of hits on the street, make sure everything's good before I take it to the track. So yeah, I also want to put front bumper on it, just check over fluids, nut and bolt check it, do all that stuff, make sure everything's good on it one last time before I take it out this weekend. So yeah, I'll get seatbelts in it right now, get seats bolted down, everything interior looking good, rocking good, do a one check, or get the front bumper on it, do a once over on everything. Maybe drive it just to make sure one last time that I don't have any overheating issues or any of that crazy stuff going on. But yeah, that's the plan for today. Let's do this. All right, so trying to put this in here, immediately found my first hiccup. As you can see, the belt on this guy comes off the back side. I think the original one that used to mount right up in here must have came on the front side. So now we're end up having this piece kind of rub on the belt. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a pair of pliers and bend this part back a little bit and try to get it to where it's not rubbing a sharp edge across the belt, and then just kind of call it a day there. These belts aren't gonna be in here for long. I'm not gonna use them for that long. Hopefully over this winter I'll put a roll cage in this thing, and then at that point I'll put a 5-point harness and some different seats and stuff in here. But for right now, just to get me going, this is kind of what I'm gonna try to do. So yeah. We'll try it, see what happens. I think that works. Bolt it all in, get it all rolling. got this one in. Bottom mount was kind of a pain in the butt to get it in there, but got it in. Over to the other side, we'll do that side real quick, and then we'll get to the center parts where the buckle and stuff actually are. All right, so next part of the step is to remove the seat. So I got the seat out, it's sitting up over here, and I need to replace the buckle side of it. So in order to do that, it looks like there's just one Torx head. The buckle kind of comes up in through here, so I'll just pull that one Torx head out, replace the buckle with a new one, bolt it back in, and then we can put the seats back in the car. All right, so driver's side seat, same kind of setup. Buckle is there, and if we come along into the inside, that's the bolt right there. Just pull that out, pop it out, slide the new one in, get it all locked back down, and then I can throw the seats in it and bolt them in for the last time. Alright, so guys, that's kind of it. I think that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, I kind of went through nut and bolt check on all this, checked all the fluids, everything seems to be good. I think I will probably be taking it out. Sorry if you can hear the mower going behind me. My neighbor's mowing. So, yeah, I'll be going through all of this, doing kind of a test run tomorrow on it, just kind of make sure again one last time before I take it out and road tune it. And then, yeah. It'll be road tuned. I'll have that video up for you, kind of how I do road tuning, driving it back and forth, how I pick out, you know, what parameters I'm changing and everything. So yeah, I'll do all of that. That'll be the next video that you guys see. And then I'll probably also have a video at some point this weekend. I'm gonna try to get the left leveling kit set up on my truck. So yeah, if you guys would like, share, subscribe, do all those. If you want to check me out on Instagram, my Instagram name's Motivated Motorsports also, so check that out, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.